Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up on the news, are you planning on traveling for the Christmas holiday? We're going to see how the weather is going to affect that. Also, domestic violence during the holidays. There is help out there for you. But first tonight.
It was a very quiet night, and obviously gunshots woke some people up, and they called the police.
And Lincoln Police, they're investigating a homicide in the capital city. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm Rod Fowler. Megan Conway has the night off. A 38-year-old Lincoln man died early this morning after being shot. Today, police released the latest on what they know. Lincoln police are now searching for the gunman responsible for a deadly shooting early Friday morning. Officers were called to the area near 20th and Washington Streets around 12:30 a.m. on a disturbance call. Right now, police are trying to figure out what exactly happened, and they admit it's early in the investigation.
We'll have more details next week when we do have further, after the witnesses and we find the video, because we are scouring the neighborhood and even outside the neighborhood to see if we can find any evidence of what occurred prior.
Police say callers had reported hearing gunshots in the area. They were also made aware of a possible crash nearby. When officers arrived, they found a crashed Jeep and a 38-year-old man suffering from several gunshot wounds. They're not sure if the crash came before or after the shooting. First responders immediately rendered aid to the victim, but he was later pronounced dead at the scene. This is the capital city's 11th suspected killing this year.
We do not have any information that would suggest there is any ongoing or targeted threat to the public safety. However, an arrest has not been made at this time.
Police say they do have information about someone running from the scene. If you have any information or possibly some doorbell video that could help police, you can call their non-emergency number 441-6000 or remain anonymous at Crime Stoppers at 475-3600. Now, Lincoln police have not released the name of the victim at this point. We'll keep you updated on any new information we learn. This latest homicide coming just days before Christmas, and it raises the question, does violence go up this time of year? Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson spoke with Voices of Hope about the trends they see around the holidays and what to do if you or a loved one needs help. Mackenzie?
Voices of Hope in Lincoln assists around 2,000 new victims of domestic violence every year. Marla Soul, who works with the organization, says the holidays themselves are pretty quiet, but before and after family gatherings, they typically see an increase in cases. Soul says this is because abusers are less likely to lash out at their victim when family and friends are around, creating a short period of safety. However, the holidays bring a lot of stress, both emotionally and financially. Soul says for many reasons, this time of year can be especially difficult for anyone in an abusive relationship.
Sometimes I think survivors of domestic violence might feel trapped in during this kind of time. Being isolated with their abuser might be a pretty difficult time of year for them. We don't take a break on the holidays. We'll be available during the holiday as well, so anybody can call and reach out during that time if they need assistance.
Soul says it's difficult to prepare for victims ahead of time since every circumstance is unique. The Voices of Hope crisis line is available 24/7 at 402-475-7273. And tonight at 6, we'll hear more about what programs they have in place to give survivors hope during the holidays and what signs you should look out for in abusive situations.
All right, very important topic. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you at 6. There was a report of a fire at a Lincoln Casey's around 4 a.m. this morning. When crews arrived at the 13th and E Casey's store, they couldn't find any flames. They could just see a haze of smoke. Well, the health department has been visiting the location today to make sure everything is safe for customers. The Casey's is not expected to reopen at that location until tomorrow. The group Let Lincoln Vote is back in the news tonight. They want to make sure voters have their say on a ballot initiative that was launched in June. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto joins us now live here in the studio with more on that. Veronica?
Similar to the city's Fairness Ordinance, it seeks to make amendments to the city's discrimination code. The group filed today for the second time a ballot initiative with the Lincoln City Clerk. Supporters of the amendment say it will benefit people who are marginalized due to military status, veteran status, disability, race, national origin, marital status, and sex.
And I talked to a pregnant guardswoman this summer when I was canvassing her. She said, I am experiencing this discrimination right now. I applied for an apartment, it's available, I have the money. The minute they see that I'm a guards person, suddenly the apartment isn't available anymore.
The group Let Lincoln Vote turned in over 11,000 signatures in August, but the Lancaster County Election Commissioner rejected the petition forms over some technicality.
Every single entity that we talked to said, look to the city code for the guidelines. We followed to the letter the guidelines that were in the city code. And then once we had collected the signatures, they were saying, no, you need to abide by state guidelines.
Early this year, the City Council voted to amend Title 11 of the Lincoln City Code. This document defines who is protected against discrimination. Also known as the Fairness Ordinance, it added protection from discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and veteran status to City Code. But after the Nebraska Family Alliance and opponents gathered over 18,000 signatures, the city voted to rescind the initiative.
We believe that group is, that population of people is a very small minority, especially when you're talking about veterans, military, cognitive and developmental disabilities, race issues, tribal affiliation, LGBTQ issues.
In the past, Nebraska Family Alliance said, across the country, government officials are using these proposals to threaten Americans' constitutionally protected freedoms and force a destructive gender ideology on society. We tried to contact Nebraska Family Alliance today, but they have not reached back as of this time. And supporters say they will start contacting people who were part of the 11,000 signatures to get them to sign again. They hope the initiative could be on the ballot next May.
Okay, we'll keep people updated. Thank you, Veronica. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins now. And as we've mentioned before, a lot of people expecting to start traveling for Christmas. How's it look?
Cold first and foremost, and that's kind of been the case the last couple of days. The wind chill warnings and the wind chill advisories are still in place through tonight and into the at least the first half of the day tomorrow. So areas shaded in pink there, that's your wind chill warning. The area shaded in that bluish color, that's your wind chill advisory. Overall, just everybody's going to be cold, and we're not alone. Look at this. I'm zooming all the way out, all the way to Florida and the East Coast and Texas and Louisiana. So everybody, especially the eastern half of the United States, seeing some sort of winter weather advisory of some sort. So it's just incredibly cold just about everywhere you look. Satellite radar around here is very quiet, so at least we have quiet weather conditions if you have travel plans starting this evening. Looking at Beatrice, this is Schoen's Roofing at 6th and Perkins. It's quiet and a little on the chilly side. It's still cold out there, but hey, at least we're above 0. 8 degrees in Beatrice, 5 in Nebraska City, 7 in the capital city. We've got temperature still below 0, well to our north, Valentine at 2 below, but everybody else is at or above 0, but not by much. The wind is out of the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, so the wind chill is 10 to 20 degrees below 0. So it is chilly out there, and that is why those wind chill warnings and advisories are in place. Now tomorrow, actual temperatures try to get back into the middle teens tomorrow afternoon. The wind lets up a little bit, at least it's 20 miles per hour or less for the wind gusts, so that's some good news. And this is okay news, I guess. The wind chill will at least improve and will be back above the 0 degree mark by tomorrow afternoon. It's been 30 to 40 degrees below 0 for the last couple of days, so that's a really good improvement. This continues too as we head through the holiday weekend. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Millions of Americans will be hitting the roads and the skies traveling to their holiday destinations this year, but a severe winter storm is impacting much of the country. As Rusty was showing us, it's making travel difficult, if not impossible. Here's ABC's Alexis Christophers.
It's being called a once-in-a-generation storm. Thousands of flights canceled on this Friday before Christmas Eve.
See, everybody's so frustrated. We all have the same story.
Major airline hubs being affected in cities like New York, Boston, and Chicago.
A lot of my friends who have later flights are stuck there for now, but yeah, so narrowly avoided it. I was really happy to have my early flight so I could get back home.
Some just taking the delays in stride.
Oh no, I forgot my pillow. That means that we're going to use this as a nice little emergency pillow.
Runways at Seattle's airport closed due to the ice. The city's mass transit system also shut down. The storm bringing blizzard conditions to the Midwest, while damaging winds knocked out power to over 1 million customers from Texas to New England as temperatures plunge. The bone-chilling cold stretching all the way down to the Gulf Coast. In Dallas, temperatures plummeting 21 degrees in just 1 hour. The bomb cyclone now impacting the Northeast, causing severe flooding in New York City and some surrounding areas.
So not as bad as Superstorm Sandy, of course, but a little bit scary.
As temperatures drop, there are concerns all that water could freeze, creating dangerous icy conditions.
While this is the coldest Christmas in decades, this holiday polar plunge won't last for long. Above average temperatures are forecast for much of the country as we move closer to the new year. Alexis Christophorous, ABC News, New York.
And it's not just travel being delayed because of the storm. It also includes deliveries of packages and presents this holiday season. The winter storm blasting much of the U.S. again. It is causing delivery delays nationwide. FedEx issued a statement today saying its hubs in Indianapolis and Memphis suffered major disruptions. UPS announced a similar situation, saying services in some regions could also be affected. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Coming up, the CDC is warning Americans of a rare but invasive type of strep. We'll have what you need to be on the lookout for, plus Rusty's full forecast after the break. Now, besides COVID and the flu, families gathering for the holidays have another health concern. The CDC is warning of a rare but severe infection known as invasive group of strep. 2 children in Colorado have died from it. ABC's Zoreen Shaw has what you need to know.
Just hours now from Christmas Eve, the CDC is warning Americans of a rare but invasive type of strep A. 2 children in Colorado have already passed away from the bacterial infection.
Fevers, chills, muscle aches, new rashes that might be warm or tender to touch, painful joints. Some kids can even have altered mental status, or they can appear more sleepy than usual.
This comes as families need to be cautious of multiple viral illnesses.
It's not just a COVID problem. We're dealing with COVID, the flu, RSV, but also other respiratory issues that we get normally at this time of the year.
All of those illnesses leading to empty shelves in some places, with certain pharmacies now putting a cap on how many medications you can purchase at one time. The White House weighing in. They say they're making a national strategic stockpile of Tamiflu, the antiviral prescription drug available to states that are low.
Being able to unlock that stockpile and provide states with access to these medications is especially important as we're dealing with one of the worst flu seasons in memory.
The good news is there are no official nationwide shortages of medications, but there are reports of empty shelves in some places, and that's why we see the Biden administration unlocking that stockpile. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
A quick look at the holiday weekend forecast looks like this. Cold, sure, 15 degrees Christmas Eve day, cold sunshine, and then a little warmer on Christmas Day with partly cloudy skies at 25 degrees. We will continue to see, it's going to be slow, but a warm up will be coming our way as we head through the next several days. We're looking at temperatures that will actually be above average by the middle of next week. Hey, this is a good looking shot. Look at that. Southeast Community College at 84th and 0, looking towards the sun just went down. Good golden glow going on right there with, tell there's still some slippery spots out there after the snow we got. And it's still very cold. 7 at Southeast Community College, 6 East Campus, the airport at 7 as well. Friend at 7, 5 in York, 4 Columbus, 3 in Central City. So it's still cold out there and the wind isn't helping. It's at least letting up a little bit, but it's still at 15 to 20 miles per hour for many of us. But notice where it was really windy just a couple of days ago, 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, that has since died off for the Panhandle, and they are forever grateful with all that snow they have on the ground. They couldn't even see across the street. But now just about everybody is starting to see the wind lighten up a little bit. That will continue as that system moves off to the east, but still 10, 20, 24 degrees below zero for the wind chill, so it still hurts if you're outside. Very quiet out there, so if you have travel plans tonight, that's fine, but just make sure you don't want to break down when it's really, really cold because then all of a sudden you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere and you have no heat. So keep that in mind if you have travel plans over the next couple of days, because the Arctic blast is going to give up eventually, but it's still around. This is through 6 a.m. Going to zoom out just in case you have travel plans somewhere in the Central Plains in the Midwest. Snowfall for Michigan, rainfall off to the north and west. Very quiet. Well, I guess there's some snow in the Rocky Mountains. That makes sense. Arctic blast finally starts to let up a little bit. Still quiet as we head through Saturday afternoon. And precipitation eventually tries to make its way through Montana, Idaho, into Oregon, but that kind of fizzles out as it gets closer to us. Very quiet. If you need some snow, you can go up to Bismarck. That's fine. Maybe even Rapid City might see a few snow showers. But overall, if you have travel plans over the next couple of days, pretty quiet just about everywhere you look. Now, temperature-wise, a little different story. It is going to be cold as we head through Saturday morning. We try to warm up, still probably below zero up here towards Minnesota and the Dakotas by Saturday afternoon, but we're in the teens, 20s, 30s, and a little warmer towards southern Colorado. Then we warm up a little more as we head to Sunday afternoon. I think around zero still in Minnesota, but teens from about Des Moines to Mitchell, 20s, 30s, 40s, and even some 50s, getting close to 60 as you head a little further south. So we'll warm up, but it's going to take some time, and then I think we'll see some 20s come back for highs on Monday. So overall, a really quiet travel forecast just on the cold side. Tonight, temperatures dropping into the 4, 5, 6 degrees below zero. That northwest wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour, so your wind chill will likely be 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Highs tomorrow, a little better. Not much, but a little. 10 to 15 to maybe 20 degrees above zero. That northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So we're getting better. It's just going to take some time. And I think by next week, things will be a whole lot better. But Saturday, Christmas Eve, 15 degrees, 25 degrees Christmas Day, and one more of those on Monday. And then 30s, 37 right there on Tuesday. That's normal. That's our average high. And then we'll be above that as we head towards Wednesday. Thursday, a chance for rain. It's going to be warm enough for rain, Rod. Can you believe that? And temperatures continue to be above average in the 40s as we end out 2022 and usher in 2023 next Sunday.
Isn't it funny, though, what we become accustomed to, and with the 2 or 3 days of the bitterly cold wind chills, just seeing something without a minus before it just really kind of lifts your spirit just a little bit.
I know, it just hurts to be outside right now. It really does, so it'll feel much better next week.
You bet, it sure looks like it. Thank you so much, Rusty. It was a good day on Wall Street to end the week. The Dow was up 176 points, NASDAQ gained 21, S&P was also up about 22. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source. And finally tonight, a wild winter video caught on cam in the wild showing a giant moose with something to lose. Jeremy Roth has tonight's Take a Look at This.
An Alaska couple got an early Christmas gift from a wild and woolly visitor, and it was delivered right to their home. Tyra Bogert says they're used to seeing moose on their doorbell cam.
I click on it and we're like, oh, that's the moose. Wonder what he's gonna do.
What they saw was this massive moose on the loose losing its antlers.
He starts shaking and then his antlers fall off and we both look at each other and I was like, holy crap.
Well put. The moose took off and Tyra's husband, Chance, went out to collect the rack, a fine prize for any avid hunter, delivered right to this avid hunter's door. What are the chances? Chance?
I think that's just a 1 in a million chance.
Wildlife officials say it's normal for moose to shed their antlers in the winter, but there was certainly nothing normal about this pre-holiday special delivery caught on camera. It's frickin' freezing out, but what are you gonna do? Well, if you're KWWL sports reporter Mark Woodley, who was pulled at the last minute to do weather coverage out in the freezing Iowa temps, you grumble about it on live TV. Can you blame him?
What better time to ask the sports guy to come in, go stand out in the wind and the snow. I didn't even realize that there was a 3:30 also in the morning.
Mark, how you feeling out there?
Again, the same way I felt about 8 minutes ago. Tune in for the next couple hours to watch me progressively get crankier and crankier. Can I go back to my regular job?
Woodley did his frigid fill-in duty, but I'm guessing from now on he's gonna hold on to that sports desk like grim death. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I think a lot of reporters would like to say that when they're out there, either in the really bad heat or the really cold like we've had here. So
who did we send out yesterday? McKinsey?
Yesterday, McKinsey for only a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Other than that, we kept our reporters inside.
Absolutely. And she wanted to go outside, and I said, you come back inside as fast as you can because it's going to be that cold. So I completely understand that sports guy being a little upset. Hey, it's going to warm up eventually. We just got to get through the next couple of days here. 15 on Christmas Eve, 25 on Christmas Day. After that, we start to warm up next week.
Thank you, Rusty. And thank you for joining us. World News is next, and we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
We only do one thing at Comfort Made Mattress Factory, handcraft the highest quality mattress possible, backed by a lifetime comfort guarantee. Come see us.
Closed